All right, now that we know a tiny bit more about what mastering audio and music actually entails, let's have a look at Logic Pro's Mastering Assistant. It's Apple's take on machine learning, AI, whatever you want to call it, but at least there is some automated processing going on based on what you put into it. So, right now, the mastering assistant is completely empty, and that is because there is no audio in this project. If I turn on the mastering assistant, which is actually always present as the last insert in your stereo output, unless you put something behind it again, which is also possible. But once I turn it on by clicking on it, it tells me that, it's the final step in music production. So, maybe you should start with producing something first. But once I bring in some audio, like a WAV file, this is a track of my own that I produced with my friend Greyhawk. It's called Roland's Revenge, and it's got no processing. I've left the master output completely naked or empty, whatever you want to call it. If I now click Analyze, this will start the analyzing of the entire project. Okay, let me say that again, of the entire project. So everything that is in the project from bar 1 to the final bar is being analyzed. And it doesn't even do that in real time. It does that behind the scenes. Although you see a progress bar appear and you need to wait for it to finish for a moment. But that's what's going on. Unless I tell it to only maybe analyze this bit here. A range defined by the cycle range. And I'll show you that right away. If I now click Analyze, it'll probably be a lot faster than when I do the entire project. Let me first do this small bit. See, it's very fast. And these are the modules in the Mastering Assistant. You got character, you got EQ, actually two EQs, dynamics and excitement, and stereo width. That's basically it, but we'll go into all of these modules a lot more in the upcoming videos. Let me just turn off the cycle range and let it analyze the entire project. I can just simply click Reanalyze and see if this takes more time. Well, a bit. But you'll notice that once you put the Mastering Assistant on the entire project, including audio tracks, MIDI tracks, all these effects that you use in buses, etc., that will take a lot more time to analyze because it's looking at a lot more things happening. Let's do a quick rundown of what this all actually means. First of all, there's a character module here that allows you to choose from 4 different characters: clean, valve, punch, and transparent. Unless you don't work with an Apple Silicon processor yet, then you'll only get clean, which is fine. It's an excellent sounding algorithm, but valve, punch, and transparent actually have a bit more personality, if you ask me. As far as I can tell, character works on primarily the dynamics module, so that includes the compression and limiting that is behind the loudness knob here, and also the exciter or saturator that is in there. And clean is exactly that. It's a very clean sounding algorithm. Then there's the EQ, actually 2 of them, the auto cue and the custom EQ. And in the dynamics module, you get the loudness knob, because loudness is a thing in mastering these days, the exciter, and coupled with that is a bit of a very useful metering for true peaks, LUFS, which is loudness units full scale, and a loudness range meter as well. Below that, the spread control. Well, actually, my track is actually less wide than 0 right now, because apparently the assistant thinks it's a bit too wide. Well, we'll see about all that later. And a phase correlation meter, very important. Below that, the reanalyze, the bypass, and an option to use loudness compensation when you bypass the plugin. So that is basically the Mastering Assistant. Apple's goal with this was to make it as simple as possible for the user to make great sounding masters. And I gotta tell you, I've used it a couple times now, and I agree. It is actually very good at its job. So we're going to throw some projects at it and see how far we can push those using Mastering Assistant in Logic Pro.